started for this goddess party. So trying something new today. I'm doing my live standing up. So hopefully you can see me properly and not just the chin. It's a different angle. So super excited to have you all today, to have my special guest of honor, Laura Lai from Vancouver, who is a fashion designer. And why I invited her today is because I fell in love. Girl crush. And she,
amazing. Amazing.
And Laura does fashion design with bamboo, so very eco-conscious. And she has a muse process. So she doesn't design just anything. She is inspired by women, her friends, people that she knows, to design clothing. And that is so close to our goddess process. And the main teaching that I want to share with you today is how to evoke the goddess. So what does evoking the goddess mean? Evoking the goddess means that when you work with goddesses, okay, so first of all, the way that I work with goddess is not saying, oh, I'm such a culinary goddess. Oh, I'm such a goddess of this. I like to go a little bit deeper. Working with a goddess means that we look at the mythology, we look at the life lessons of the goddess, and then we bring her into our life for healing. And there are many ways to do that. So we can evoke the goddess, invoke the goddess, walk with the goddess, and aspect the goddess. So there are 4 ways to work with the goddess. So today we're focusing on evoking the goddess. And evoking means that you use symbols in your environment, in your clothing, that makes you think of. So evoking is, it makes me think of. So for instance, in my room right now, what I've done is that I have my essential oils going on, and it's fir trees and cedars. So I am evoking the forest. I'm not standing in the forest, but I'm evoking it through my sense of smell. And Laura does the evoking of the goddess through her clothes, through the clothes that she designs. And today she's showing us a dress so that we can evoke the goddess Artemis through what we wear, because that's a good way of evoking the goddess. So just think, for instance, one moment, that you're going for a job interview. We've all done that before. Found a job interview, so we can all relate to that. And how would you dress to evoke your confidence? Would you show up in sweatpants?
Definitely not.
Unless you're going to a gym, right?
I think that you would probably wear something that, first of all, like you felt really good in. So you felt beautiful, felt confident in that article of clothing, so that when you walk into the space, you're already feeling that confidence inside of you. Right. So whatever that may be for you, you know. Yeah, and then like your stance, and holding your shoulders back, and fake it till you make it kind of thing, like,
yes,
yeah.
And that is one of the secrets of evoking. It's a little bit like that, fake it till you make it, right? Yeah. Because you will notice that depending on the clothes you wear, your body posture changes. I don't know if you've noticed that for yourself. I've noticed that for myself. I quit the federal government 9 years ago, and I've been wearing my yoga pants. Yeah. And it does change the way that I feel about myself and the way I present myself in the world. Today was so hard to go through my closet and find clothes that actually fit. Because I wanted to be here and feeling energetic and not feel like I'm in my yoga pants again, right? And when I wear a really cute dress, it's a really different energy. I can enter the room feeling differently, right? You've all felt that before?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's kind of what evoking the goddess is. So now, instead of thinking, oh, this is my confident self going for a job interview, you think, this is me being like Artemis. So as you walk through your life, you walk with Artemis. Artemis is a goddess of the woodlands. She's a goddess of childbirth because she helped her mother give twin to her own brother. So it's kind of weird in mythology because when goddesses are born, they grow up as adults like right away. So within 9 days, Artemis was able to learn the skills of midwifery and help her own brother be born from their mother. So childhood is not the same in mythology. So that's why she's a goddess of childbirth. She's also she also protects nature, wild animals, and our wild nature as well. Artemis is a woman who, when she was asked to marry this guy or that guy, she said, no, I'm not marrying either. Just give me my bow and arrow and I'm gonna go hang out in the woods with the girls. Then she just never married. So she's also a goddess of virginity. And staying true to herself, which is really important for Artemis personality, is that ability to stay true to who you are and not give into the social pressures. And now we're going to see how Laura can evoke this goddess through clothing.
Wonderful. So I just have to, and thank you so much for that. That's, it's poignant and very interesting because I'm definitely going through some things, I think, and Artemis, I think, is going to help me sort of work through some of those things. So I am wearing the Artemis dress. It was said that she wears shorter, like, because she's on the move. She's got her bow and arrow, and she's got to be able to move easily. Mm-hmm. This is bamboo. All my clothes are made of the bamboo cotton knit fabric. And this has got a sweetheart neckline. And I think of her as being a true sweetheart and of owning her sacred wild heart. Right. And so, she really knows who she is and she's not afraid to be seen. So of course I had to wear, feathers today and this I got from a friend of mine. It's just like a row of flowers in my hair. And then the dress, it's got the sweetheart neck, of course, the color, chocolate brown, very earthy chocolate brown color. It's also practical in some ways though, because it does have sleeves on it, right? So she's, this is, the goddess of getting not afraid to get your hands dirty, get into things, movement, and being very grounded, of course, as well. So I thought this dress was like a nice combination. The dress is originally designed after Joanna, and I would say that she is absolutely, in so many ways, epitomizes Artemis's spirit, this girl. She's very independent. She's a really good listener. She's got her own sort of unique earthy style. And again, she's an absolute sweetheart, thus the neckline. So it's, she's also a little bit kind of playful as well. And so, this was the style of this dress. And it's got a nice little cutout at the back too. And of course it is practical, so you can wear a bra with it. It's got most of my styles have a built-in bust support in them. So the dress is just going to hold you and you're going to be able to feel like I can move in this, I can wear it any season. It's still feminine, but it's also kind of practical. And it just, to me, it was like, I'm going through all my dresses and I had originally picked another one that's a little bit more sort of elegant and sort of Spanishy kind of looking. But then I realized, no, this is the Artemis. This is the dress for her, because it's a little bit shorter too. So, cause she's moving around, she's going after things. She's got her bow and arrow. Like, she needs to be able to move,
yes.
So yeah, so this is the one.
I love it. And I love your description of the need to move, because it's true. Artemis was always running in the woods. She was hunting. She was always going after her goals. So she could be probably like an A-type personality at times.
Really?
And in terms of, this is my goal and I'm going after it. And then she's going in the woods and she goes for her query, right? And in her shadow side, she can be quite vindictive. If you piss her off, she might just kill you or all of your children. So don't piss off Artemis, right?
Really? Yeah. Wow.
She has that vengeful heart. And most of the goddess do have this shadow side, which is one of the reasons why I love working with goddesses, because they show us that it's okay for us too to have bad days. Right?
Yeah.
I come from a religion, tradition, and even in the spirituality world, we say, oh, you have to be happy all the time. So you have to put that mask on. Yes, everything is fine. I'm fine. But is that really the truth? No. Like, look at nature. We just had freaking snow this week after a 30-degree weather. Like, nature has highs and lows and highs and lows. So do the goddesses.
Yeah.
And so can we. So let's give us permission to move our bodies, to move in our clothes, and to move through our emotions with all the highs and the lows. So Artemis really helps us with that, and showing us where are we vengeful? Where are we vengeful?
Yeah. I was listening to the speak on, where we all have needs.
Mm-hmm.
And when we feel like our needs aren't being met, then our subconscious will make sure that those needs are met. And we're doing that subconsciously in sort of manipulative ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see Artemis doing that too, like having a kind of this manipulative side to her where, if her needs aren't getting met, like you're going to feel the pain. Like she's going to get you, like.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, she's a very powerful, I think she's a very powerful force, and it almost feels to me like she dislikes masculine, like she has masculinity herself, but she doesn't like men. Like she has like an aversion to men. And
I do believe you're right on that one, because in a lot of her mythologies and a lot of her stories, she was bathing in the lakes with her nymphs. So it's another order of, they're not goddesses, nymphs, but they're still divine. And so she was just having fun with the girls, just bathing away, completely naked in her vulnerable state, right?
Mm-hmm,
and just think of your vulnerable state as maybe when you're crying, when you're opening your heart to people, when you're being really true to yourself. Mm-hmm. And then a man creeps up and says, oh, look at the goddess and she's all naked. Maybe I'm going to rape her.
Right. Yeah.
What does she do? She just transforms that man into a stag.
Yeah.
Sends his hunting dog after him, so the dogs kill the master. So your own basic instincts destroy the person that she's like attacking, right?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that happens in 2 or 3 stories in her mythology, that when men especially see her naked in her vulnerability, they are destroyed. So that means so many things on different levels. 1, yes, she doesn't like men. 2, she doesn't like to be seen in her vulnerability.
Yeah.
It's not safe.
Yeah.
So, and she likes to be guarded. And she much prefers her sisterhood.
Yeah, it seems to be, that's really interesting too, that she feels safe amongst feminine energy and she does not feel safe around masculine energy at all. And I mean, in the stories, it's fair to say that, because it seems like the men are always wanting something from her or wanting to take from her.
Yes.
Right. Or take her entirely.
Yes.
And so, yeah, that's an interesting, I did, because I did some reading on her and I was like, oh, okay, wow. Like, you know, in some cases, she turns the men who are after her or wanting to rape her into women.
Right.
Like she turns them into women.
Yep.
Right. And so, yeah, she's a really interesting personification, I think, of how a lot of women feel, to be honest, you know, like, you know,
yeah,
like, you know, we are safe when we are together, and be careful of them, you know. Yeah, it's really fascinating. So yeah. And I love that she was true to herself and she decided, you know, this isn't for me. This is what I need for myself to be happy and to feel centered. And I'm not going to do these things. I'm going to do this instead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's practically unheard of, because you got to remember that Artemis came from ancient Greece, which is like the place of patriarchy. That's where patriarchy was born, is in ancient Greece, and then it went to ancient Rome. Women were not considered human. Like, women had no value, really. The only citizens, to be a citizen means that you are a man of a certain city. And if you weren't a man, you were a stranger, you were an outcast, and women were only the property of men. So for her to say, I'm not doing your will, Father, I'm doing my own will, I just feel into the courage that it took for her to say, I know this is what you want from me, but I'm going to follow my own path.
Yeah.
Do you have, I'm going deep, do you have a moment in your life, Laura, where you said, I'm going to do my own path?
Yeah, well, when I started my clothing line, absolutely. But you know what was fascinating is that I only finally decided to do it when somebody who I decided was somebody who I decided, like, I respected this person, and they told me, you need to go after your dreams.
Right.
So I had been told by my mother for years to do this. You're so good at it. You can do whatever you want to do. But my parents weren't figures in my life that I respected. Neither of them were.
Right.
So when this fellow, it was a guy, a gay fellow, who was a psychiatrist, right? And he had, like, to me, now there's somebody that I can respect, because I looked at him and I was like, wow, he's courageous. He had a surrogate. He hired a surrogate and had a son. He was charismatic. He was just like the coolest guy in the world, right? And he told me, he's like, you know, I don't want you to look back on your life and think, gosh, I really wish I'd gone for this. So it was then that I decided, okay, if he's got that much faith in me, then I need to start having more faith in myself. You know, and I'm still working through a lot of insecurities that I have in relation to my childhood. That I had very loving parents. They were kind people, but I didn't really have a solid figure in my life that I could look up to and respect. I, even to this day, I still don't really feel like I have that, right. You know? And so, yeah, it took a lot of courage for me to go ahead and do this, with having, like, packing around my insecurities, but doing it anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jazz?
Yeah.
Like,
and that is perfect, again, in the Artemis story, that you find the courage, and that person that you look up to is you. And that's part of the journey, is acknowledging that in yourself. Because Artemis did not have a perfect childhood either. I mean, she was born, and she was not allowed to be born because her mother, Leto, was the lover of the god Zeus. Zeus, he sowed his seeds all over the world, right? It was just an example of infidelity. And Hera was Zeus's wife. But Zeus seduced Leto, and Leto became pregnant with Artemis and Apollo. And Hera became so furious about, I know if in your life you've been the third woman, it hasn't happened to me. I've had some clients who were like in those love triangles. But Hera became so furious. She said, Leto, you are not allowed to give birth on solid ground. And so imagine being 9 months pregnant, 10 months pregnant, 12 months pregnant. Imagine that burden of carrying children like that. And so finally, Leto was really smart. So she went on the island where Artemis was born. She took an olive branch, put the olive branch on the ground, and she straddled the olive branch so it would move like this. So she was not on solid ground.
Smart. Yeah.
And she gave birth standing on the olive branch. Hera heard of this. She was pissed off. And she said, you cannot give birth. You cannot do this again. But she was pregnant with the other twin. So 9 days later, Leto went somewhere else. And 9 days later, Artemis was able to help her mother give birth to Apollo. So,
wow.
And then what happened is that somehow Artemis and Apollo became their mother's caretaker.
Yeah.
And so they had to grow up really, really quickly, take responsibility really, really quickly, and not really be children because they had to take care of their mother.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So part of that is that story as well. It's like, I don't have a real childhood because I had to be responsible for my younger siblings. So, when I was so young in life.
Wow.
That's part of her.
So there's so many layers to all of these, wow. When you start to pick it apart, you start to understand, what the meaning in it actually is and how we're all related to her in some way.
Yeah.
How there are parts of all of Artemis in all of us, 100%. Wow. So cool.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So when I think of that aspect of Artemis and clothing, that's when you're presented that it's a practical dress. I'm thinking, of course, Artemis would be really practical. And it's not just because of bow and arrow, but it's because she's had to have that responsibility since early on in life. And she would not love too much frou-frou. She's either a kid or it's practical clothes, right?
Yeah. But she still looks absolutely like stunning.
Yes.
Even when she's got her twigs in her hair and like she's got a strong body. She knows who she is. She's very confident, right? And, and she's not afraid to show her confidence off to people, right? And I think in a lot of ways too, it seems to me that she has a nurturing spirit about her too. Like she takes care of people, and that's a beautiful thing, selfless love a lot of the time,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool. Huh. Yeah, I'm going to carry her with me always. Yeah, it's good to be reminded of her, I think,
Yeah, in so many ways. So thank you for showing us that dress. I'm wondering if you have any other tips for us into, like, if we want to go into our own closets and pick out things for Artemis. Can you?
Yeah. Well, I would say, obviously comfort and comfort is key, but I think she's going to go out into the garden and she's going to, take care of business, but she's also going to put together, I think, effortlessly in a way. So I think I like just in general fashion to be um, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication, says Leonardo da Vinci. And, you know, he's so right. I totally believe that. So I think with her, you know, looking in your closet, less is more, things that are really comfortable, but also make some kind of an impression when you get out there, you know? So finding that balance in your closet between things that, you know, look and feel really comfortable in, but that aren't frumpy, because she has a presence. She knows who she is, and she has a confidence. And so it's feeling confident in those clothes. And if you're not feeling confident in this or that or the other thing, you know, maybe, you know, it's time, might be time for a bit of an upgrade. Like, you know, our days are very precious. Every day is precious. And I think it's obviously important to have that really comfy, frumpy outfit that you can just throw on and feel great in too, like, you know, but, yeah, I just think that, you know, having clothes that are practical, but that you still feel like a goddess in, you know? So are there clothes in your closet that have like, that are both of those things, you know? And how often do you wear those clothes? You know, probably a lot, right? You know? And so if there are things in your closet that don't make you feel comfortable, maybe it's time to make some space, you know? I don't feel like a goddess in this at all, and I still have it hanging in my closet, but for some reason I just don't want to give it up. Well, if you take that out and move it and get rid of it, you're going to clear space, you know, for maybe getting something that will make you feel comfortable and beautiful, you know? So yeah, I think, does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's close to the conversation that I had with myself this morning, because I think I changed outfit like 3 times.
I think that's pretty regular for women. Like I change usually twice a day.
Yeah.
Like some days not. Like I have these tights, right? And then these tunic tops that go over them. And I thought, well, this is the perfect Artemis like combination, because that's one of the outfits that I don't change during the day.
Right.
When I put it on in the morning, I'm wearing the same outfit at the end of the day.
Right. And I was kind of thinking that too, like what would Artemis wear? Because I know that Artemis, she would go for a walk in the forest. She would go for laser tag or, you know, pinball, like a paintball, like something really physical, or she would go to the gym. And then she would go out dancing with the girls. So it has to be like an outfit that goes from daytime physical activities and then outside clubbing as well.
Yeah.
So I had a really cute dress on today, but then I thought, yeah, if I go out in the forest now and it's tick season and everything else, no, that's not something that I want to wear. I want to cover my legs so that I don't catch the bug. So, you know, the practical side. And then I thought, well, maybe I want something a little bit more hippie, because you know, the boots, but then I thought, then a lot of the hippie clothes, there's a lot of layering and the flowers and the beads, and no, that would get in the way of the bow and arrow.
Exactly.
I'm just wearing right. So I thought, then if my party is over at the campfire, then I just throw my sweater on and I'm fine to go around dancing around the campfire.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly it. I think the you know, the idea of tights and tunic tops are absolutely awesome, because you can put a necklace on and she can go out, you know, and look immaculate, and she can just change her shoes. She can go from wearing runners, you know, to putting on like a nice stiletto and that outfit with the tunic and then the tights. And she can move so easily, right? And so, yeah, I think that you've really hit the nail on the head there, Jazz. Like the tunics and tights are so classy, beautiful, practical, sexy, all the things that she is, you know, totally. Yeah.
And you have some in your shop as well.
I absolutely do. Actually, I can show you. So the cool thing about my clothes is that they're all made to order. So that means that, like, I have 18 colors available so that you can order any style in any color. So some women will get black tights with a red tunic top, right? Some women will get, you know, they'll go monochrome. So their entire outfit will be the same color, burgundy. And that, by the way, is so cute. And it's really sexy, and it's a sleek, like immaculate look, but it's also very practical. You can throw everything in the machine, right? So, you know, if you're in love with this one color, you can get your entire outfit from head to toe in the same color, and it pops, right? And the idea is to bring out your eyes and to bring out the, you know, the color of your skin and the color of your hair. And so that's why with my clothes, everything is just one solid color, right? So that when you enter a room, people don't look necessarily at the dress. They're going to look at how comfortable and beautiful you look, because that color really, boom, makes your eyes pop, you know? That's different, you know? Yeah.
So to what you were saying earlier about Artemis is about presence.
Yes, for sure she is, you know? Yeah, like, you know, Artemis enters a room and everybody sees her, right? And that's what these clothes really, really do as well, you know? Like, yeah, you know, and then the other great thing about Muse is that it fits into the wardrobe that you already have easily too, right? Like, oh, I can wear these tights with all these tops that I already have, or I can wear these tunics with all these jeans that I already have, you know? Never harm the earth in any way. And in fact, I'm sure that she would be, you know, adamant about making sure that the earth was cared for, Mother Gaia, right? So this has been my principal, like, I'm from a community of 250 people. I was raised in a teepee across a river for 2 years. And, you know, we had like a communal living for a long time in this little valley in the Okanagan where I'm from. So Artemis was with me has been with me forever, really, you know, the spirit of Artemis. And also my label is called Muse by Lorelei.
Lovely.
So that means that all of the clothes are designed with muses or real women that I know in mind. So what I did today, Jazz suggested that I talk about the goddess Artemis and how, because I design clothes with women in mind, like the Artemis dress is the Joanna style, and Joanna's traits are very similar to Artemis's. So what I did is I presented the dress and showed why I thought this was an Artemis dress today. And so, yeah, so it was a synchronicity with Jazz and I, you know, she knew that I was designing fashion, and she was like, oh my goodness, this seems to tie really well, you know, to this group and Artemis. And coincidentally, I'm going through some things myself, and I realized that Artemis was the perfect goddess for me to sort of evoke or, you know, remember or, you know, feel inside of me to get through some of the things that I'm dealing with in my own personal journey right now. So it was just like this juicy full circle thing, you know, Karen, where, you know, Jazz, she threw these cards on the table like, hey, why not do this? And, you know, I think COVID has been a healing journey for a lot of us, where a lot of things have been brought to the surface, and there's a lot of things that a lot of people are dealing with. And I just loved the idea of connecting to divine women, you know, who epitomize certain traits, and to remember these things that we all have within us, you know. and how important they are. And it was interesting because Jazz was talking about the shadow side of Artemis too. Maybe you can touch a little bit on that too, Jazz, with Karen, because that was a really interesting point that she brought up as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think we need to move into our party and move.
Oh yeah, we totally do.
I have a playlist. So part of that, what I'm inviting you to do, if you can, stand near your computer with your phone, so just so that we can move a little bit. So thinking of Artemis. So we said that Artemis likes to move. She likes to run in the forest. She likes to feel free. She doesn't like to be encumbered by her clothes. So if you have like any extra layers of clothes that you want to shed, just put that aside. I just put my sweater to the side because it's getting warm in my office.
Yeah.
Plus the stress of losing the link. We're back. It's all working. Oh, yeah. So let's think of Artemis in her strength. So Artemis in her strength, remember that she's about presence. So if you take a nice deep breath right now and feel into your presence, just feel into your body for just a moment. Like, how is your body? How are your shoulders? Are you slumping a little bit? How would you evoke Artemis through your body? Just by presence, by saying, I'm confident. Just repeat that to yourself, like, I'm confident. Then feel that confidence in your body. Like, this is who I am. This is my goal. And I'm gonna effing do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that Artemis would be too prissy about the F words either. So
no, she sure wouldn't. Yeah.
If you need to use an expletive, just use it, right? So this is my goal and I'm going to do it because I can do it because I'm good, because I'm a goddess. I'm going to go after my goal. So just feel that building into you, perhaps just like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. Think of Artemis also in her shadow side, like we talked about earlier, her shadow side, meaning that someone did me wrong and I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
Feel that in her body as well. Someone did me wrong. Someone saw me in my vulnerable state when I was crying, when I was down, when I was low. And that person wanted to violate me, wanted to violate my space, violate my body. Just feel that energy, feel that anger. I'm going to do something about this. Just feel that. And now move your body. Just, are you standing strong? Perhaps if there's negativity, if there's like too much, you might want to shake your body a little bit. Just let it go. Just let it go. Okay. Yeah. And you might want to think yourself now, imagine yourself in the forest. Who are you in this forest? Are you the grain? Are you the grass in the wind? Can you allow that strength? You know, the grass is being trampled on all the time. The grass sways in the wind all the time. And yet grass is so strong, so strong. Allow yourself to be soothed by the wind. Perhaps in this forest, you are the oak tree or any tree you want to be. And you're standing strong, tall, watching the world around you. From your height, you can see the world. Perhaps you can imagine your situation or your problem Imagine that just below you and look at it from this higher perspective, from the tree perspective. And how is that informing the situation? And reach up even more towards the sky, hugging the sun. Your twin brother is the sun, is a pole of the sun. Allow that relationship between you and the sun to really nourish you. Allowing for this energy to come into your body. Into that heart space, the beautiful heart space. All the way down into your roots, into your feet, connecting with the earth. Feel the earth. Is the earth cooler, warmer? Is it like sand between your toes? Is it moist? Is it dry? Feel the earth. Connect with the earth. And remembering that Artemis in the forest, she's also all of your senses. Being a huntress, you have to be very aware of how you feel and all your senses. What do you see? What do you feel on your skin? What do you smell? Is there something you can taste in the air? Like sometimes when we walk in the forest, we can taste the earth. How does that taste like? And what can you hear? Ground yourself in all those five senses. And now look around you and see, is there something that really wants your attention? Is it a bug? Is it a plant? Tree, grass? What is wanting your attention now? Then imagine your spirit, your Artemis within, merging with that which wants your attention. Move like that which wants your attention. Ask for a message. Here's Artemis. Artemis is right in front of you now. She says, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for walking my forest. Thank you for evoking me, allowing me to live through you. Allow me to walk with you a little bit longer. There are some things I can teach you about loving yourself, about having the courage to be you. And making sure that your needs are met so they don't show up in all kinds of weird ways. I love you. I love you. I love you so much. Breathe that in. Good. Laura, you had prepared soundtrack for us. Do you want to play a tune or two so we can continue to move with Artemis?
Yes, absolutely. So I've let me see now.
I'm sure this one won't be part of your soundtrack, but the one that really popped into my mind as we were talking about her story earlier is the song, You Don't Own Me.
You Don't Own Me.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know the whole song, but it was on one of my tapes way back when we had tapes.
Oh, wow. I love that.
Yeah, so I'll have to play that one again.
Yeah, it's funny because I would love any, that's actually a great idea. That's a great idea as well, because I was sort of trying to find the song today or a few songs. And I was sort of thinking of like sort of jungle kind of house, African, music that was very sort of base root chakra, had that sort of feel to it. But I love that. You Don't Own Me. Let's play that one. Why not?
Do you have it?
You don't own me. You Don't Own Me. Is it Leslie Gore?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's several covers of that one.
This is it. A great song. Excellent choice.
Oh, that's good.
That was perfect.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whew. So let's take a moment then to have a little chat of how everybody's feeling about this movement, meditation and movement with Artemis.
Yeah. To be honest, I think that the timing couldn't have been better for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely, Artemis came to me at exactly the right time. I've been having some sadness come up and some doubts and some loneliness.
Mm-hmm.
Just sort of, it's so crazy, but yeah, just sort of like not feeling like my needs are being met and trying to figure out how to fulfill the needs that aren't being met. How do I take care of those things for me? I'm single and I don't have any kids and I'm really craving lately, like a man and a family,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not here. And so there's a gap. And I think Artemis is going to help me sort of bridge that gap because, if I can feel Artemis's sort of power here, then everything becomes easy after that. Right. So it was really good timing for me to evoke her right now. Really cool.
It'll be
actually
perfect in your quest for a relationship.
Yeah.
Because it's looking for a relationship, not from a place of neediness.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
From a place of being desperate, but you're going to love me on my terms.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
right.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Would anybody else like to share something they've experienced today?
I will, if that's all right.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with Laura about the timing, and but for a very different reason, but also related to where you are in your life. I've done the family thing, And now it's sort of really coming home to me, my age. You know, I'm in the final part of my life. And so there's a lot of loss associated with that, you know, loss of sort of attention, a loss of beauty, a loss of feeling, energy, all those things that are part of being a vibrant sort of early or middle adult. And now those are starting to wane. And so I was experiencing the loss, but this little exercise, and I've been kind of coming towards that anyway, but this really solidified for me, particularly the forest, because I grew up near the forest. I still live near the forest. I do the forest thing. And when I evoke the forest, it's always the big gnarly tree roots of sort of Cathedral Grove in Vancouver Island, if anybody's familiar with that. And so I was thinking about that. I'm no longer attracted to the young sprouts. And I could see myself as part of that sort of gnarly root ball, and see the beauty in it as well, that, you know, there's the roundness of the older, worn down kind of roots, and that there's a character to it, there's a beauty to it. They're majestic in the forest, and they also lay the roots for the future saplings, and provide and when they die, they provide the energy for them, for the rest of the forest, and they're essential for the health of the forest. The aging process is essential to that. So it was just a solidification or a verifying of that stage in my life, and that it is not all loss, that there's a new appreciation for another element that's essential to life in general.
Right.
That's where I am.
Beautiful, Kenna. It's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So there's still beauty, and in a completely different way. There's time for one more comment. Oh, yeah, and Karen, it'll be you, because I'm seeing on my timer that we have 10 minutes left before we're cut again.
Oh, I'll keep it real simple. Some reason my name showed up as Karen, but it's actually Karenna with an A on the end of Karen. Somehow it's missing, but it's Karenna. But yeah, I just wanted to pick up on what, is it Kenna? Yeah, Kenna said. Kenna, I am very deeply moved by what you shared. I'm 61. I just turned 61, and I have been feeling a similar affinity for the loss. Like, I've had children, I'm empty nest, I'm single. My partnership went sideways because of a head injury I had. But without the story, it is really beautiful how you have seen new life resurrecting out of, you know, and birthing out of what you have lived, and to see, because I'm watching my skin have, you know, change, and it's just, you know, the beauty, like you said, fading, and it's not an easy transition. But I've also been thinking about an offering I'm going to be making about helping women through those losses. So just this whole space, Jazz and Laura, is just divinely orchestrated for me. I would love to continue the journey with you ladies, because boy, you speak my language, all of you, including Kenna. Thank you. Yeah, anyways.
So happy you're here.
So we probably have, what, 7 minutes left?
Yeah.
I won't talk for 7 minutes.
I think 6 minutes. Yeah.
So I just wanted to say, yeah, this was perfect. So I was exploring with Jazz, I guess, Artemis at some point in my learning from Jazz teachings, and I'm a dancer, so I was hoping to find a good costume. So I'll be excited to engage further and talk about that. And I used to live in Vancouver for a while. Yeah, so I was listening very deeply to everything you were saying at the beginning, and I took it out. It really helped me because I was in extreme pain. So in my situation, I have I have a little child who's 4, and my husband is actually turned 59 yesterday, so we're older parents. And even though I look like I'm like basically 18, I'm not. So I was kind of feeling, I have these feelings of I have all this pent up energy. I need to dance. I need to like, and so I got the opportunity to do that, and also finally just like let loose and dance in a meditative, guided, improvised format, and like let that energy. And I realized like me, it's like sometimes it's the more meditative, like quiet internal kind of work, which I've been doing a lot of recently to calm down my nervous system. And today I was like, you guys built gave me the foundation for me to just explode and just kind of dance. So now I'll probably hang up and go jogging or something. I might. So anyway, so I found what I could in my wardrobe, but I love this project. I also want to say thank you to Kenna and Karina. I really appreciate what you said. I think a lot about, for example, trees and the role of ancestors and also elders. Elders in the sense of the wise person who has lived through experience and has knowledge of the world or wisdom to share. My aunt is an elder. So that really moved me, and also the imagery of trees, and also the tension in my case of having a very young child and being a bit older with a young child and having an older life partner, and all the just different energies. So thank you for making me think about all of that, and working through chronic pain and all the creative aspects. So I look forward to connecting with all of you through the Secret Society.
Nice to be. So we've got 3 minutes left. Any other little tidbits that you want to share before we close? Good. I'm inviting Laura if you want to share your website in the chat. I think is it lorelei.com?
It's muse by lorelei.com, and I'll just write that in really quickly here. Oh, right on.
So if you want, and this dress that you're wearing today is what is
Joanna style.
Joanna style.
Joanna style, yeah. Muse by lorelei.com.
Yeah.
There it
So
is.
check her beautiful, beautiful clothing in bamboo. Or if you want, we talked about the leggings and the tunics as well. So she has that, everything made to order so that you can move like the goddess, feeling free. And then if you want to accessorize, let's hook up with Kenna.
Just a quick note too, ladies, I actually send free swatches in the mail. So if you send me your mailing address, you just go to the site and there's a spot where you can send your mailing address to me, and I'll send you our free swatches. I have 18 different colors to choose from. It's nice to be able to see and feel the real color, feel the fabric. So yeah, so there's that too.
And so very Artemis as well, because it's all the senses that are being.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Beautiful.
Thank you for inviting me. It was just really, what a great way to start my weekend to meet all of you. Thank you so much, Jazz, for inviting me to do this. Just wanted to say that. Thank you so much.
Because it's a last minute crazy idea. I think we talked last week. Hey, you want to do that? Yes, let's do that. So
Yeah.
so happy. And Kenna, thank you for putting your website there as well. So check that out, people. Oh, my heart is full. So much love. Thank you, all of you, for being present today for this this dance and this talk with Artemis. She feels a lot closer to me now than she did before. I know that part of my homework now is to go take a walk in the forest and ground all of that within myself. I invite you to do the same. And if you're currently in the Secret Society of Living Goddesses, part of your homework now is to also integrate and to think of what really spoke to you during our conversation about evocation. to create your altar so that we can formally invite her in our life by next weekend.
Sounds great.
What we're doing now. All right, so I'm seeing that we have less than a minute left, but we did it. We're right. So keep on dancing, keep on walking in the forest. I love you all so much. Thanks for being here again, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.